All right, we're now live. So, good afternoon, good evening, good night, depending on where you are in the world. Thank you for coming to the live stream. Um, Hi, CL and LF USA. Thank you for coming to the live. All right, now the topic for today. Hi, Junior Senior TV. Thank you for coming to the live. Now, the topic for today is conservation. What renewable devices or equipment do you use? Al, hi, Junior Senior TV. Thank you for being at the live. I will tell you the ones that I use, and if you have any additional ones, I'll tell you the benefits as well that I have gotten from it. And if you do have any additional ones, then you can just state. So, to begin with, remember the aim is conservation, and conservation doesn't only involve electricity, it also involves the water and even the food that we buy. Um, I'm not telling you to go out there and buy substitute, but there are times that we can even grow our own food to make it accessible to ourselves. So let's start. And we're going to be switching between water, electricity, the two. It depends. Like I say, it's what I use. All right. Now, the greatest electricity. Hi, Colin. Thank you for coming to the live. The greatest electricity drinker or drainer in the home tends to be the refrigerator. And I think it is the refrigerator because it is on for 24 hours of the day, and we tend to use it even more than a light bulb. And it is ironic that some persons who even have the light bulbs at home tend to try to conserve electricity with the light bulbs more than how they would think of conserving with the refrigerator. Now, the refrigerator, some persons don't see it like that it can be a conservation method. And if you cut the amount of electricity that you use with that refrigerator, you'll see a huge reduction in your bill. The lights, yes, they use electricity, but not as much as a refrigerator. Now, we have different types of refrigerator. We have the conventional refrigerator, and those were the ones that most of us would grow up knowing or still know to this day. So we have the conventional refrigerator where every now and then you would probably hear that refrigerator making a heavy sound. It doesn't vibrate, but it makes a heavy sound like it's vibrating, especially if you have the you have opened that refrigerator. So if you open that refrigerator, then when you shut it back, it's going to make that heavy sound. And it makes that heavy sound. Hi, Manson Insaw. He's saying hello, everyone. Hi, you're the 30th. Thumbs up. Thank you very much. Motorola King is saying better late than never. Hi, Smart. Thank you, Motorola King. Right. So you have will stay here for a while. Thank you very much. Now you have the refrigerator that when you close it, it makes that heavy sound. And that sound is coming from the compressor. So what happens is the compressor works harder when you let in warm air inside that refrigerator. Remember when you open it, sometimes when you open that refrigerator, you would see a gush of like a smoke coming to you. That's a cool air. And you have this warmer air on the outside. It's going to escape and go in. So what is happening when you close back that refrigerator, then it needs to build up back or transform that warm air into the cool air now. And that is why the conventional refrigerator makes that sound. Then we were introduced to the inverter refrigerator. And the inverter refrigerator allows us to, even if we have it open like that, it doesn't make that sound. And as a matter of fact, the conventional refrigerator, when you hear it move sounding like that, it's using up more electricity. With the inverter technology, it doesn't do that. Now, with the conventional high storm chaser, now with the conventional refrigerator, what happens is the cool air from the top is what cools the bottom half of that refrigerator. With the inverter technology that I know or I have with the refrigerator, what it does is the cool air up the top is responsible for the top half of the refrigerator, and the bottom half of the refrigerator is able to cool itself because it has that cooling mechanism. It doesn't need the top to cool the bottom. Now, the inverter refrigerator is one of the ways that we can reduce our electricity consumption at home. Remember, I told you I was going to tell you what I use. You can tell me what you use. Now, yes, I did have a conventional refrigerator. However, it got old and it had to be replaced. So when it had to be replaced, I chose the inverter type because I wanted to reduce my consumption. Now, normally when I had the conventional refrigerator, I placed a timer on it, and that timer would shut down my refrigerator at a certain time and turn it back on at a certain time. Once you don't have, hi, Pierre Bike Live, thank you for coming to the live. Once you don't have that constant pull where you're opening that refrigerator for the warm air to go in, then you'll be fine. Your food or meat will be good. With the inverted refrigerator, let me tell you what I have seen. Even if I should pull that refrigerator after it is locked off, in the morning I have ice in my ice tray. If I place the ice trays in with just water, once it's turned off, once it shuts off with the timer, then I will have ice in the morning when I wake up. It has the capability of doing that because of the cooling inside of it. Remember, it's not operating enough, so it shuts down. Now, for those who don't know the timer, there are two types of timer that you can use on the refrigerator. There is the manual type or the mechanical type, and there is the digital type. It's not really recommended for you to use the manual type because it means each time you'll have to go there and press it or turn it for it to operate. I have two types of time. I have one that I think it does 2, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8 hours where you can have the whatever it is that is plugged into that timer. It can operate for 2 hours, 6 hours, 4 hours, or 8 hours. That's not the type of timer that you need. The one that is best or the one that is recommended for the refrigerators, whether it be conventional or the inverter technology refrigerator, will be um digital type. Hi Falcon TV, it's good morning your side. I'm going into evening or night. Thank you for being at the live. Now I'll show you what the timer looks like. For those who may not have seen it on my channel, because I've programmed them a lot for persons, it's a bit technical to program, but I think I've mastered it to the amount that I have programmed throughout the time that persons have asked me. It tends to look like this. And if you notice, it has some buttons right here. And those buttons are the programmable, are the programming buttons. And one thing I find with this digital timer is that once you set it and you don't have anything depressing those buttons, you're fine. It will last you for years. It tends to go down when you have loss for the batteries. So the batteries, because it's battery operated. So take for instance, you have it plugged in, because you plug it into, it's recommended that you plug it into a surge. Because remember, you need to protect your refrigerator at all costs. I did another vlog on that and I told you about the protection of those items. Those things are not cheap, so it's best to protect it with a surge protector. So you plug it in the surge. The surge is actually plugged into the wall socket. So you plug the surge into the wall socket. You plug the Thank you, Falcon. You plug the digital timer in, and then you plug your refrigerator in that digital timer. So what will happen? Just imagine that the electricity should shut off. You have a blackout in your country or your area or on your even on your road or the street that you should live on. So you have a blackout at that point where nobody on your road don't have light. Because the timer has a battery, yes, you won't get any form of electricity in your refrigerator, but it has a battery that will maintain the memory of whatever it is that you had programmed in your timer before. So say you lose electricity at 6 o'clock in the evening and you set your digital timer to come back on at say to shut off, sorry, at 7 o'clock. And even up to 7 o'clock, you didn't get back electricity. You didn't get back electricity until probably say 9 o'clock. So at 9 o'clock, when you expect, yes, your surge protector will receive electricity, but your refrigerator will still be shut down because you had set it to shut down from 7, probably say 7 to 10. Your refrigerator will not chip back in until 10 o'clock, until that timer releases the electricity to your refrigerator. And that's how it works. It shuts it down totally, where no electrical current can reach your refrigerator or whatever devices. I've seen persons placed it on um, a, a lamp. So they have placed this on the lamp and placed the lamp in probably in the living room, so that whenever night should come or the timer should chip it in, it will appear as if someone is inside the house. So people use it for different things, but like I said, the digital timer is one of the best ones to use on your refrigerator. Some persons, however, when they do have the inverter refrigerator, they don't use a timer. I chose to use a timer because I don't want to be reliant on the power company, especially during the nights. So I use a timer and it has been working. I have not had any spoil food or meat none of that. So all of that is fine. So you don't need to worry that you're going to have things spoiling in your refrigerator, and it wouldn't make any sense. Some persons set the timer to shut off for a shorter period of time, even if you should have that, not relying on that form of electricity for a short period of time. It is still a conservation method. So you don't need to worry about it, that you're going to have this thing and your meat is going to spoil. If you feel that you cannot operate it for, say, the timer for, say, 7 hours, reduce it to 5. 5 hours of saved electricity. Thank you, Falcon, for being here, and bye. If you can't have it for, say, 7 hours or more on your refrigerator, then you can reduce that. And if you even save a minute worth of electricity, especially with those refrigerator, you'll see a vast difference. You will see it. Now, that would cover the refrigerator, and like it is said, that is one of the heaviest drainers in the house for electricity. Motorola King is saying that timer works instead of plug in and plug out. Yes, it does, Motorola King. Now, in all honesty, Motorola King, majority of us, when we do have like the kitchen area, you may notice that the plug for the refrigerator, because most kitchen when they are built, they have a section where you would put that refrigerator. Now, it's quite obvious sometimes, where to put the refrigerator or the stove. And because stoves now are coming with plug-in as well. And what you find is that for the for the refrigerators, you will know the plug is a tad bit higher than the normal socket. And in order to reach that plug, because the plug is normally behind where you would put the refrigerator. So if you have the refrigerator here, it would be behind it. And it's quite understandable because the plug for most refrigerators are not to the side, they're at the back. The cord is at the back. So you find that in order to prevent yourself from plugging in, plugging out, it's best to just use that timer. Storm Chaser is saying, yes, that makes sense instead of running the fridge all night. Yes, it does, Storm Chaser. It does make sense instead of running it all night. And if you think of it, if you have a light switch or if you have a light that you leave on for the entire day or night, because the refrigerator is a non-stop operation. It's one that we have plugged in for 24 hours a day. And I think it may be the only appliance that some persons see or feel that has to be plugged in for 24 hours. That's the only one. There are other things that persons see that has to be plugged in for 24 hours. But then, honestly, for me, I think the fridge don't have to be a 24 hours um, plug-in item. I don't have my fridge plugged in for 24 hours, but I do have things that needs that 24 hours plugged in, and I'll tell you about it. So that's one of the way you can save electricity, by going the inverter technology and even still applying the digital timers to it, to just to conserve on additional electricity. Because if you're really moving from a conventional refrigerator to the inverter technology, yes, there's a saving right there, but you can save a little more by just using the timer. on that inverter technology. Now, uh, another gadget or device that I use are the remote switches. Now, remember I said to you, or not I think, who is it? Let me see. I think it was either, right, it was Motorola King, where Motorola King was saying that timer works instead of plugging in and plugging out. Now, the television set and the microwave and the washing machines are best if you plug them in when you need to use it and just plug it back out. Even the cable, the cable boxes, because sometimes you might be surprised to know the amount of electricity that your plugged in cable boxes use. Remember, you don't watch a cable 24 hours a day. You only watch it when you feel like watching a little movie or a little television. You don't watch it 24 hours a day, so why leave it plugged in? You don't watch 24 hours a day, so why leave that plugged in? You also don't use the microwave for 24 hours a day, so why leave that plugged in? You have to sit and think about even the television set. Why leave that plugged in? We have to sit and think about these things because there's the other aspect of it that is known as vampire electricity. And the electricity is the electricity that is wasted because that thing or that appliance or device is not in use. No, it was rather difficult for me to be plugging in and out the television set, plugging in and out the microwave, and especially the microwave. My microwave is on top, and the plug for my microwave end up being on top as well. So it means I may have to climb up, move things out just to reach that socket. And that was what was happening. That was what would have happened if I didn't get these remote switches. Now, what the remote switches does, it's just a ordinary looking socket and it has a light on top of it. And that light would tell you if it's turned on or off. Um, Handu said, hello, my friend Smart, sending our support to you from Khalid's Adventure. Thank you very much. All right, so um, it's just the operation of plugging in and plugging out. And it may be, remember I said to you that really shouldn't make conservation a burden. And for me to be plugging in and plugging out, it was easier with my washing machine because my plug for my washing machine was above the washing machine where I could reach it easily. But the one for the television set may be a bit difficult to each time plug out. The one for the um which other one? The one for the tell you which other one. The one for the microwave was a bit tedious because that was higher, even taller than that I could reach. I had to probably climb up in order to reach there and just move things. Storm Chaser is saying, smart. I tell people about the timer and they are saying what you're talking about and say timer in the fridge already. Yes, Storm. And that's where some persons get confused because there is, in fact, a timer in that refrigerator. And what that timer does is it sort of not shut it down. Um, it it shut down certain aspect of that refrigerator in order for the refrigerator to, especially for the non-frost refrigerator, it shuts down a certain aspect of it so that that side can defrost and then the water would leak out. So that's what the purpose of that timer is, because you really, if you didn't have that timer, there would be, you remember the older type of refrigerator, Smart? I'm not sure if you remember it. Um, where it had this ice buildup, and because of that ice buildup, nothing would melt. In order to defrost that fridge, you had to take everything out. Some persons would put warm water in there. It would probably take a whole day to clean the top of that refrigerator. I'm not sure if you remember it, Storm or Motorola King or anyone else in here. You had that type of refrigerator, and with that type of refrigerator, it used to take time. That one wouldn't have that timer. And then they made the other conventional refrigerator now, the non-frost, with that timer, so that it can, the coils in the top of the refrigerator would now start working to um take eliminate that ice. So it sort of shut down certain parts of it, and then the coils would start working to cut down whatever ice had built up and let out the water. So that's what that timer would be for. But then if you understood what the timer that I'm speaking about is, then you could probably explain it to them as to what that timer is, the one that I'm speaking about, the digital one, right? So we're talking now about the remote switches, and I was telling you that the benefit really of that remote switch is to save yourself from climbing up, to save yourself from having to plug in and plug out, especially for the items that you use regularly. So it's a saving mechanism. And what I do like about it is that you can get multiple sockets with one remote, or sometimes they give you two remotes, so that in case one goes bad, or you can put one at different parts in the home. I remember when I got the 5, I had I had used, I think I'd used all 5 at some point. Right. I'd used all 5. Now I'm reduced to probably about 3, because 2 of them went bad. They do go bad, Things go bad from time to time. And probably if I was to really research it, I would have seen that I've had these remote switches for quite a number of years. So it went bad, and then I just started eliminating the things that were not as important, because one of the time I had the mosquito zapper that was in the washroom on one of them, and then all I had to do was stay inside and just turn on that mosquito zapper. I've not used that mosquito zapper since, because it needs a refill, so I've not used it. So when one of the others that I had in use inside had gone bad, then it was an easy operation to just take off that from the mosquito zapper and use it. Now, there are some of them that has, I'm not sure if you have 6 plugins, or I know the one that I had 5, and I've seen some that have multiple plugins, multiple. So it will take you to decide which areas you place these remote plugs. What I do like about it was each each plug on the remote had a letter, and at the back of the plug, the remote plugs, there was the corresponding letter. Thank you for coming, Hando. Right. There was a letter. So if you know you placed a, say, at the microwave, all you had to do was try and write it down somewhere where everyone else would know that. Look here, if you're turning on the remote switch for the microwave, it's A. What I did was to create the markings on my whiteboard. I have a small whiteboard in the kitchen, so that's what I would have done. That's what I did. I placed the letters and I placed the indication as to where the plugs are and what it is responsible for. So like I had, and I know I remember A is always my microwave. So when I go inside, there's a remote control in the kitchen. There's also a remote control in this room. So I can stay here and turn on the microwave in the kitchen from the remote switch that is in the kitchen. And that's what I do like about it. It has that infrared sensor that I can stay probably anywhere I have the remote in the house and turn on or turn off a particular appliance. And that's what I really, really, really liked about it. Um, Joan Tomlinson, thank you for coming. She's asking, where can I get that remote socket to buy? They are online. I will send it to you. I will send it to you. And then you can decide what's the quantity that you need. Sometimes it's best you buy the ones that have the multiple plugs, even if you don't intend to use all of them. Just buy it and use as much as you can. And then for the rest, you just store it until it goes bad. The remote now for the socket has the remote plug, sorry, has also a all button. Now each button that is responsible for one of those sockets has on and off. And then the last button on it says all, and you have all on, all off. And how it used to save me, especially in the morning, was that in the morning, because all of the things that I had on these remote plugs, I wanted to ensure that everything was turned off. So if I use the microwave in the morning and I didn't even remember if I had turned off the A button, what I did at the end of it was just press the all off button. And sometimes when I do press hi cats and dreams, thank you for coming to the live. When I do press the all off button, that is when everything just shuts down. I think it makes, I know the microwave, the microwave makes a sound, especially if it's when it's turned on. You'll hear a beep when it's turned on, but only in the microwave. The other things, I know that when you turn on the one for the television, you don't hear that beep, and that's just it. But it's online. I'll send it to you. Um, you also have the other devices now where you can charge your phone. In my country, we have hurricane season, and it's it can be. I remember one hurricane where persons were really scampering to get the phones charged because especially during the hurricane you were calling. I think we got free credit at the time, or you were able to make calls to relative and friends. You need to know how everyone is doing, how they are managing. No man is an island. We need other persons. So you need to know how other persons are managing at home during the storm. So what was happening was that we were using our cell phones to make calls during the storm or this hurricane. And at the end of it, the batteries are going to die. Now you have the solar charger that you can use. And the one that I purchased have been storing this power for days. It can charge multiple things during the storm or after the storm. When we lose electricity, persons were even charging others to just charge a cell phone. Now, my country, and I know there are other countries out there as well who has the opportunity of utilizing the sun. If you can utilize the sun as much as you possibly can, do so. Because especially, I realize that, especially after a hurricane or a storm, I don't know what it is. Thank you for the like, Catch and Dream. But I realize that after that storm or hurricane, the the heat of the sun is at its peak. It's really, really hot. So it's good sometimes that we can utilize this. So if you have some solar lights as well, get them. Get the ones that you can use inside as well at nights. That in case you lose electricity, you don't have to lose electricity because of a storm only, you know. And what I find is that with the advent of solar standalone lights, I find that when we have a hurricane warning or a hurricane watch. Hi Kimberly, thank you for coming. You find that when you have a hurricane warning or a hurricane watch, persons scamper to buy kerosene oil just to use in the home sweet home lamp. These things are not safe. At least if you have the solar light and you fall asleep with the solar light, I'll send that to you as well, Joan. The solar light, then you don't even have to worry that the place is going to any fire is going to cause, because it doesn't cause any. With the solar charger as well, you find that you can even charge bigger items. A laptop, the one I have can charge a laptop. It can charge a tablet as well. Once it uses that USB port, the one that I got, it was able as well to have a flashlight on it. I didn't purchase it for the flashlight because my main purpose of purchasing it was to just charge my phone. And what I do like about it is that I don't have to wait until an emergency to use my solar charger. I can be here right now and I look, oh, my battery is going down. I don't want to use the power company electricity. And I just plug it in and it charge. And I can charge my phone, my cell phone, multiple times before putting back that charger in the sun. It can charge two ways. It can be charged via the sun or electrically. I have always tried to charge mine from the sun because the sun is free. Storm Chaser is saying, smart, someone say these new technology will mad you. Not really, no. Some of the times when we think of the new technology, we can probably look to see how it will affect us and the benefit that you'll get. Because the solar charger is like, I'm not sure if you remember the power banks. Well, power banks are still being sold. When the power banks were introduced, and I looked at it. Yes, I like the fact. Hi, Papa Zald. No, I like the fact that good morning. It's good night on my side. No, actually, right. I like the fact that the power bank was able to charge cell phones. I don't know if it being able to charge anything else. No, I don't know if it being able to charge anything else. However, I like that about the power banks. And with the power banks, my only problem was it takes more to charge a power bank than what you got out of the power bank. So when the power bank was introduced and I did my research on it, I realized that this is not one technology that I wanted, because it wasn't going to save me anything on my electricity bill. So I gave up on that and I didn't buy it. When I saw that the technology now had changed to the solar charger, I realized that that one I could have used. And I'm not sure, probably because I'm able to get multiple charge out of it for my cell phone or other equipment. I have never sat to try and find out how long it takes to charge. Never. Probably I need to check it. But even if it takes, it doesn't take long because once you have it out there for probably a couple hours in the day, because you don't have the sun for 24 hours, then you'll have the use of it. So I like that about it. And I like the fact that it has a clip as well. So if I have my handbag, I can clip it on. If I'm going out, it will get that glare of the sun just to charge it up. Um, so that's one of the devices I use, and I don't wait until, hi Madam Baby Daily Vlogs, I don't wait until the power is out to use it. I use it all the while. It doesn't I don't like um I don't like the fact that sometimes we have our devices or gadgets and then we can't really use it as to how we really want to use it. So we wait until an emergency or a storm or some blackout to use it. It doesn't make any sense. And then sometimes we don't even remember that we have it. We don't remember. And I think that is what probably sometimes happen to persons who have flashlights. Motorola King is saying, cool tool. I think that is what happens sometimes when persons have flashlights. So what you find is that they have the flashlight and then they hear of an impending storm or an impending hurricane and they rush out to buy batteries for it. You have instances sometimes when you're repairing something around the house and the area is not one that is, it is lighted, even in the day it may be lighted, but you would really love to use a flashlight to see a better view of whatever it is you're looking at in the day. Use a flashlight. Use a flashlight. Don't turn on the power company electricity. Use a flashlight. And now flashlights are being made that are solar powered. Ones that you can just leave out there and charge it. Flashlights are like that as well. And it uses a rechargeable battery. It will last you a couple years to come. It doesn't make any sense you have these things and you're not using them. Use them. Don't wait until an emergency to try and even use it. All right, so we have covered the remote switches, we have covered the digital timer. Now, let's touch a bit on the water aspect of it. There are some things that, and it is strange sometimes, and where you have some persons having a higher water bill than electricity, than an electricity bill. Think about it. You have more light bulbs in your home than water pipes. So why is it that you are spending more for electricity, for water than electricity? And you have more things in your home that uses electricity than the sockets, than the water pipe. Because you really only need a water pipe for the you really only need the water pipe for the kitchen, in the bathroom, the shower area, as well as the basin area, um, washroom, and you probably need a low pipe. Hi, busy 247. Um, you also need probably one outside to water your plants. Yeah, you probably need one outside to water your plants, and that is probably about one, two, three, four, five, six. How many light bulbs do you have? Think about it. You don't have a lot of light. Well, you don't have a lot of water faucets when you compare it to the light bulbs. No, you have more light bulbs, but yet still, some persons complain about the water bill being higher. Now, you can reduce their water bill by changing the type of plants that you have to water. Some persons think that the grass will burn up or whatever if you don't water it, but it's how you water it. You can't water it sparingly. You have to water it deeply. And if you water deep, if you do deep watering for your grass area, you don't need to water it a lot of times. Probably once every 2 months if you water it deeply, because that's what I do mine. I don't really water my grass area, and I have a green grass. The plant itself as well. If you realize that you do love plants, if you realize that you do love plants, try and get plants that don't need a lot of water. Some persons think that the more the water, the better it is for some of the plants. Some of these plants don't need as much water as you're giving it. And that is why they don't last you as long. I'm not telling you to sacrifice the plants and don't give them the water. They don't need water. And as a matter of fact, some plants will indicate to you when they really need that water. I have a fern around there, and for that fern, whenever it needs water, the leaves get pale green. So I know that it needs some water at that point. I realize that I will have to water it, especially more during the summer months. I will have to water it more. But away from that, it's probably just once a week. I don't need to water it much. Now, there are some things now that you can do in order to conserve. Now, the heaviest drinker of water in the home are the toilets. And toilets now are being made that show you how much gallons of water it needs just to flush. Now, the one that needs the lower gallon per flush, and it's called GPF. So you will go into somewhere to buy a toilet, and you will see 3 GPF. You don't know what it means? Some persons buy toilets based on their eyes. So they see the toilets and they do like the toilets. You need to buy the toilet that is suitable to you, that will conserve. So you go to buy the toilet and you see 3 GPF, but then there's another toilet that looks prettier to you, and when you look at it, it has 10 GPF. It means that that toilet, that the prettier one that you really like, needs 10 gallons of water for one flush, while the other one only needs 3 gallons. And that's less. When you look at it, you would save 7 gallons each time that you flush. So even toilets now are being made with that conservation thing in mind. Now, some persons, in order to use less water as well, because we probably it probably may not be economical to just change out that toilet. So what some persons have done, they place a plastic bottle with stone inside the tank, so that it it tricks the valve that is filling the tank, that look, water is already in here, so we don't need as much. That's what they do. We find different methods. There are some um pieces for the inside of that toilet tank where you can remove the old fittings and install new fittings that uses less water. 'Cause that's it really. That's what the gallons per flush really does. Um, Motorola King is saying, what about jacuzzi bathtub with water? I'm not getting. What about the jacuzzi bathtub? Um, to tell you the truth, Motorola King, Persons who have the jacuzzi, bathtub are persons who really have space. And majority of the times where I do see it is probably at hotels, I've seen it there. Um, Motorola King is saying, does that use a lot of water? Yes, it does. It does use a lot of water. Motorola King, it does. So we need, well, I think persons who make the decision to go that route, they know what they're getting into. I don't want a jacuzzi because really what I would want a jacuzzi for. Persons who want that type of lifestyle would probably get it, but I don't want it. Um, my chat here on my page has been disabled. It's a lucky thing I have another monitor on. It's say Motorola King is saying, so it would send up your water bill. Yes, it would. No, I don't know how you can conserve with that. Even sometimes some persons decide that they are going to use the inflatable pool. They know what they are getting into. I can't manage that. There's also the option where you can, for the faucets, some faucets are made with, I don't know if you ever see it. It's called an aerator. It's something like a mesh. I think I have a picture of it here, right? It has this mesh thing on it. It's called an aerator. And sometimes when we're buying faucets, it's best that we buy the faucets that has these aerators. What the aerator does is restrict the flow of water, but you do get that pressurized water, but it comes out with air bubbles inside of it. And giving you that air bubbles, it have, I don't know if you ever see sometimes the water look like it's freezing. Those are the waters that we're talking about. It has that air bubble inside of it. Yes, it does, Motorola King. Motorola King is saying really smart. Yes, it does. It really does. So it works where that is concerned. Um, there are other things that we can do in order to conserve our water, and that would be creating creating this habit of whenever we use water inside, instead of throwing that water down the drain, probably you're washing your vegetables or your fruits, you're washing rice, whatever it is that you're washing, and you can store that water, then you just take that water from the inside of the kitchen and throw it in your garden. Your garden will welcome this, because then you're washing your fruit, you're washing your vegetables, or you're washing the rice. You can throw it around your plants. So that's another way of conserving by not using as much water as you possibly can. So there are ways, there are things that you can do in order to just conserve. Storm Chaser is saying Motorola King smart know her stuff. Um, it's not all about knowing my stuff, Storm Chaser, but what I tend to do is to research new ideas or new things that will help me. There are things that I would really want, or I have really thought about, that would probably assist in my conservation journey. However, I've been looking for it online and I can't find it. So then I find that I have to use other things to assist. But I'm still looking for it. I'm still looking for it. I wish someone would have created it if they haven't done so, but I'm still looking for it because I think it is possible to get it, but it's just to find it. That's just it, just to find it. So there are things that we can use. There are other things that I do have that I have not yet um installed or tried. I have also a PSI valve that I purchased that I want to go on my after my water meter to reduce the amount of water pressure that is coming in, because the higher the pressure that is coming in, the more damage it will do to your faucets or your pipe or even your water tanks. The more damage it will do. So I need that PSI valve to go on. I also have a small, what's it called? I have a small filter. It's a filter that is, you can just take out the mesh out of it and rinse it out and put it back. And I think I want that filter to be installed on my water tank so that it makes it easier. Sometimes, especially with that buildup in the thing, sometimes when the water comes out, it's a bit, um, it has this thing in their particles, because sometimes the whole house filter can't filter everything. So you find that is happening sometimes. So it's best if I use a filter there. So there are things that I'm doing or things that I'm thinking about. I have a drip irrigation system, and that is all solar. I don't use piped water for my drip irrigation. That as well is rather easy to set up, especially if you have plants that needs water. At the time I did have some plants that need water, but like now we in the autumn months, we're getting periodic rains, and I'm seeing some improvement with the plants that I have. So there are many different gadgets. Probably some of them that I even use, I don't even remember, honestly, because once I do it, I try to use it, and it now has become a routine. It now has become a daily living to just get up. You get up, you decide that you want to watch a little TV, you turn on the remote switch. The refrigerator chips out at a certain time. You don't even realize that it chips out, because everything is going on while you're just living your life. So consider getting some of these gadgets. It will honestly make your life easier. I find that nowadays we're not using more electricity, however we're paying more for electricity. Motorola, hi Bito. Motorola King is saying, my wife says she will watch your vlogs. Thank you, Motorola King. So we do have instances where we can find out things that will help us to reduce, and it will work. It will work. Thank you, Vito. So it will work, and making it work is just half of the problem. The first problem that we need to tackle is to just get these devices, and don't take them and don't use them. Get the devices, and when you get the devices, use them. They will greatly reduce your electricity bill. They will assist you in your conservation journey, and you won't even realize it at times that these things are really helping you. Like I said, the light is just minimal, because you don't use the light 24 hours of the day. So tackle the things that you use every day, or that you have on this system 24 hours of the day. Tackle those first. And if you tackle those first, you will see a reduction in your light bill. You will see a reduction in your water bill. Tackle the heavy drainers, the refrigerator. Tackle the toilet bowls. Tackle those things. Because then some of us don't even have plans to say we're watering, but the toilets are the heavy drinkers. And as soon as you have a leak, please tackle that too. All right, we're nearing the end of our live stream. I want to thank all of you for coming to the live stream. I do enjoy imparting whatever information I have. Um, it has been a journey. My journey still continues where this conservation thing is involved, and I will share my journey with you each step of the way. I have made changes, and I'm watching to see what what changes it will make to it. John is saying, well, a lot of stuff to think about. We'll tackle it bit by bit. Yeah, that's what I keep on telling people. Solar or conservation is it needs to be done incrementally. So thank you for coming to the live, and for all in the live, it's either good evening, good afternoon, or good night. And thanks again for coming.